Hello and welcome to Walk the Talk. I'm Shekhar Gupta and my guest this week, a man who has one of the toughest jobs in India. In fact, in the world, if you talk of the world of sport, Michael Nobbs.
Thank you.
Indian hockey coach for 5 full years.
Yes.
That's not the kind of time we even give our governments in this country. Welcome to Walk the Talk.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Good to see you having this big smile on your face. You know, you got so used to our... Anybody do with Indian hockey, the frown, an excuse?
No, I mean, look, to be able to go and coach a bunch of great kids and, you know, hopefully get to the Olympic Games and do all the things, and we're all passionate about hockey. I mean, why wouldn't you smile? It's great. It's really good.
You are from a hockey family of hockey nuts, in fact.
Yes. My wife is an Olympic gold medalist. Her sister's an Olympic gold medalist. Their mother is an Australian hockey player. Their auntie is an Australian hockey player. My brother-in-law, Mark Hagar, is the coach of the New Zealand national hockey team. The cousin is an Olympic baseballer. My daughter plays hockey, and my eldest daughter is a figure skater for Australia.
And talk about yourself then.
And I played hockey for Australia as well. Olympians.
Centre half for the great Australian hockey.
Yes.
One of the greatest teams ever, at least in my memory.
You're very kind. You're very kind.
You know, your team was really a dream team.
It was a great team. In '84, it was we
played. In fact, that decade, you, Charles Worth, Craig Davies, Peter Hazelhurst, names come to me now, a whole bunch of them.
Oh, we had almost 80 games in a row without a loss.
Right.
So, until that one fateful day in the Olympic Games.
And you carried the jinx with you somehow.
Yes, it was the monkey on the back for many years. Right. That was a problem. But
and once you got rid of it,
the world is...
monkey's been in the zoo.
Yes. And it was really interesting because everybody in Australia has been supporting us, and we... up until that time, and we won the Olympics, and you know, every single hockey player past has helped the Australian team at that point in time to win Olympic Games. Right. It's been brilliant.
And once you broke the jinx, as I said, you haven't looked back, because just sort of, in the same complex, we've seen your team, as in, now I'll say your former team, thrashed us in the Commonwealth Games just the other day. They
did, and it hurts, but sometimes you have to have a little bit of pain to get a bit of the gain. And. Right. But I'm hoping to repay that back to them at some point in time.
You played centre half. In the game of hockey, centre half is the most big-hearted and the least selfish position.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. Good training for a coach.
It is, because you've got to learn to control the game, the tempo, you've got to control the players around, you've got to control, and you've got to try and win the game as well.
Because you stop the bad guys from the other side.
Yes.
Right? And when you get the ball, you give it to the bad guys on your side.
You do an awful lot of running.
Up and down.
Up and down. You do an awful lot of running.
Yeah. I sometimes tell Rahul Dravid that you are the centre half of Indian cricket.
Yes, correct.
You are in 2 for 1.
You have to be. You have to be. You're in it, the thick of it.
The ball about 5 balls old, and then you have to hang on while someone at the other end hits.
Yes.
So it's a position that involves sacrifice.
It does, it does a lot. It's a team game. It's an absolute team game.
So what does it teach you as a coach?
It's funny, you know, when you learn to be a coach, it's really hard, because when I first played for Australia, or when I was playing for Australia, I thought I could coach. And I was coaching a club team, and my club team was second bottom or bottom. And this Indian chap, his name was Trevor Vanderpoort, he played for Calcutta Rangers, came up to me and he said, "Would you like to be a good coach?" And I said, "I'm a good coach." I said, "You know, I'm an Australian player, I'm a good coach." He said, "Well, why are you sitting at the bottom of the table?" And I said, "Well, maybe I'm not such a good coach." And he took me under his wing, and he employed me for a number of years, and I learned to be a good coach. And you just have to spend the time, you know, and the sacrifice, learning what it takes to be a coach. You know, it's
Michael, brave of you to come to India to coach, because you know, not only is Indian hockey has been in the dumps, but it's also controversial, and it's a messy situation.
It is, but you know, the one thing that we all have, including the players and ourselves, is the passion for the game. You know, it's a beautiful game, it's a great game, it's the greatest network of friends that you can have, and everybody around the world, you know, says, for hockey to be great, we need India to be great. As I did in my presentation to the government of India, if you go back to, there was a quote and a saying that the Indians playing at full speed, scoring lots of goals, is just a sight to see. The best games that I've ever seen have been in India playing.
Well, I can say the best games I've seen Australia playing, but not against us. Because Australia, in so many ways, play the subcontinental style.
Well, you taught us. You taught us. I mean, we've had so many Indians come to Australia in the late 50s, early 60s. I mean, many of them migrated to Australia, and the style that we play in Australia now is an Indian style.
Right. Very attacking.
Very attacking. Look, it's got an Australian flavour because we had to learn to counter some of the European style of play, but it is Indian style. We teach it in our schools, we teach our kids all that
So
style.
how do you play the Indian style, which is lots of forwards, short passing, and yet counter the European style of play, which is long passing, hit and run,
The game
and
now,
packed defence?
yeah, the game now is more a transition. You're going from a three transition phase, as we call it. It goes from the defence to the midfield to the attack very, very quickly. So as soon as the defence looks like they're getting the ball, the forwards are already in a position to attack. So we trust our defence, and then we get it into the attack as quickly as we can. Because we have this saying, you know, we want to score 4 goals a game, you know, and the reason it's 4 goals is because you've got to hit more than 3, because one, there will be a good goal scored by the opposition.
Right.
The second, there will be, you know, we'll make a mistake and one will go in. And the third one will be a bad umpiring decision. So if we score 4 goals, we should win most games. And you'll find, if you watch the Champions Trophy just recently, that the English team, the Spanish team, were all interviewed regarding their style of play, and they all said we're now playing an attacking style of hockey. So they're going away from this traditional, very European, because Australia, the #1 team in the world, trounces all of them by 4 or 5 goals.
NDTV's cricket app, Android and iPhone. Fastest scorecard, special analysis, and much more. Download free. ndtv.com/apps.